Hi, this is Tom Shanahan from spiritualadrenaline.me. This is part 2 of our series with Holly who's in recovery from an eating disorder. In our first vlog with Holly, we talked about her childhood and college experience where the eating disorder really manifested. So today, we're here to talk about her strength, how she came to recognize the problems, and the things she tried to address it. Holly, thank you so much for coming today to continue our conversation. So let's get to it. So you came back from college and from this study abroad. Your weight was down and you got mono, your health was starting to be impacted by your eating disorder. Tell me what happened and then what you did looking for help.
Well, eventually I graduated from college. About a year later, I moved here to New York City and I just really plummeted down. I was very withdrawn because I didn't want to be around people very much because I wanted to control what I ate. So I wasn't interacting with people socially, and I just had to keep my system going. And then I started to feel just terrible, and I couldn't figure out how to fix it. I couldn't fix it with my eating, not with running. I didn't know why it was happening, and eventually I just had no energy, and I ended up going to my doctor, and he diagnosed me with depression. And he gave me antidepressants and suggested therapy. And so I went to...
Just to ask, did the doctor ask you at all, given your weight, about your eating, or if that was an issue, or...?
I don't think he did. He just asked me symptoms about how I felt, and I think I got Zoloft or something like that. Okay. Yeah. And then he recommended therapy, so I went to a therapist who does cognitive behavioral therapy, and she helped me to really see that I had an eating disorder. So
that helps?
It was helpful. She gave me ways to replace old habits with some new habits. So slowly, I started to eat new foods and not measure everything. It was a painful process, but she encouraged me little by little to start to loosen the grip I had on my control issues with eating and with my running.
And so that helped?
It did help. It did help. It was important at that stage for me to have that kind of direct interaction with a therapist.
And how did yoga come to be a part of your experience?
Well, in combination with trying new foods, she encouraged me to maybe try a new kind of exercise just to get out of my box that I'd put myself in. So I thought, why don't I try yoga? There was a place near where I worked. My friend, some people at my work went there, so I thought, well, I'll go take a class. And the first class, it was awkward and a little uncomfortable because it's new and it wasn't really my thing, but something about it made me feel good, and I thought it was a reasonable thing for me to try, so I started going about once a week.
And you continued for how long before you recognized that there was something to yoga that was helping you in a way that maybe the antidepressants and the other things hadn't?
It probably took me about 3 or 4 months to really realize it was adding something of value. And then once I realized that, I went twice a week for maybe 4 years, until my practice got more dedicated. But just that twice a week actually made a big difference.
And so do you think if you hadn't started to do yoga, you would have had the success you've had with overcoming your eating disorder?
It's hard to say, but I think that yoga really gave me a place to see myself really differently and to experience my body in a way that I never had before. Just the nature of the practice.
Great, thank you so much. So this is the second of a 3-part series we're doing with Holly. We did her experience. Today we talked about her strength. In the next episode we'll talk about her hope, our recommendations for people with eating disorders and other issues in the context of yoga and how they can integrate yoga into their recovery. Holly, I really appreciate you taking the time to come out. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tom.